Have you heard that 2025 is the year to change your life forever? And that 2025 is also the astrologically, energetically, it is a complete end of an era and the beginning of a new one, and a beginning of a brand new planetary experience. And yet you might be sitting there thinking, well, my life hasn't changed so much. Am I missing something? Well, my name's Sonia Choquette. I'm a spiritual teacher, an intuitive guide, and a channeler working with a beautiful group of guides for 20 years who have been introduced to me and known as Joachim and the emissaries of the third ray, second octave of love. And today I'm here to broadcast and share some messages from this beautiful group of guides who are teachers. And they have stepped forward and want to share how to actually let 2025 be the year that you heal, that you end the old, heavy, dense frequency and experience of your life. That you don't have to be that old you anymore, that just is not doing well, not having any joy, not feeling connected, feeling lost. It is time to end it. So we're going to have some very clear instructions from the guides. They are coming in, as are many guides on many, many planes. So if you're new to my channel, maybe your guides brought you here. And if you've come back, this is the time that we're going to get very crystal clear in the steps to take. So step number 1 is to get clear that there is nothing to fix in you. There is nothing to repair. You're not broken. You're not faulty material. You're not faulty goods. You're not so wounded from, I don't care what your experience, the guides are saying, and I hope that you're hearing this from your own guides internally, that this is a year to empty the garbage. Truly the garbage that you have not only been taught and told that has been so disempowering, but also the garbage that you've experienced. I mean, life is hard, and you have a bunch of ill-informed humans that are very fearful, looking to one another to take care of us. We're going to have a bad experience, and we mostly have. But we can just consider the whole totality of it all that has been unpleasant garbage. Now, hopefully, you'll extract from the garbage the lessons. What have you learned? What is the gold in the garbage? So first, get the gold and then empty the garbage. So bring to mind the difficulties that you have had in life, the really painful ones. For example, I went through a terrible experience for many years. I wrote about it in 2 books. The one is a book on my journey from the Camino de Santiago, where my whole life collapsed. And that book is Walking Home, a journey from humbled to healed, where I walked an 853-mile pilgrimage in Spain with the intention of healing what had just been the complete collapse of my life. Divorce, couple deaths, my dad and brother, a loss of complete financial ruin. It was pretty complete. And then I wrote a book about moving to Paris after, losing everything. So, Janis Joplin and I were friends at the time because I had a lot of freedom because I had nothing left to lose. So I wrote about those experiences, and it was hard. They were hard experiences, and they were emptying experiences. They were me needing to let go. And a lot of those things I didn't want to let go of. I didn't want to be divorced. I didn't want to be single. I didn't want to be homeless. I didn't want to be financially completely obliterated. I didn't want to be in a foreign country that my only friend had just died, and so I didn't really know anybody. But that was a big reset. And in retrospect, it brought me the greatest gifts. It brought me the tough love gift of self-love. I learned when I had nothing around me to lean into or to cling on to find my way forward, I had to find the light within. So that was my experience, and it took a while. Truthfully, it took quite a few years. I worked on it every single day. And in retrospect, I think, why did I take so long? I clung to things like I suffered my divorce, when in retrospect, it's like, oh, good riddance. That was such a heavy, obnoxious stupid interaction that brought me no joy. No disrespect to anybody, but what a waste. So what I want you to do in terms of we're going to empty the garbage is first, let's go look through the garbage and get the gold. So think about the things in your life that have been really painful, seriously not okay, not easy to undergo, really painful. Take a step back, take a breath, and I want you to ask yourself, because your inner self, your higher self, your intuition will totally answer this question. Where's the gold? What was the gift in this? Now, I had a client the other day who had overcome a horrendous OxyContin addiction after being prescribed that for a ski injury. And then it just led one thing to another, then COVID. But anyway, basically destroying her life and destroying the lives of everyone who tried to bond with her. And when she finally hit bottom, because she was pretty much rejected by everybody and homeless, she said that the gold was that I was driving everybody to reject me because I had believed my whole life that that's what I deserved. And I was just not going to let up on anybody, including myself, until I proved myself, my ego self, right. But when I actually did get booted out and I did find myself in a homeless shelter and I did find myself without any sort of friendship or family support because I had burnt it all out, I remember one night I just was over it. I was working so hard at ruining my life and my ego proving me right that I was so worthless that it made no sense. I could just go to neutral and say, well, I'm just going to quit destroying myself. I'm just going to quit deciding if I'm good or bad and just be neutral. And she said, as the day started to heal, I emptied myself of this belief that I had to really prove how bad I was. It was really a revelation. So maybe you've had that experience. Well, maybe not the drug experience, but some campaign to teach the world that you're worthless. I know that in a way, and if you're raised Catholic, you probably understand what I mean. I mean, honest to God, you barely smack you on the butt and say it's a boy or girl before they say, and by the way, you're worthless. So I get it. If you've been fed that kind of nonsense, now is the time to say, I'm not gonna carry that anymore. I'm gonna hold that anymore. So you have to empty the garbage. This is not a year, and this is not a period for repair. It is a period for release, rejection. I don't receive that. I'm not gonna hold that. I'm not gonna carry that. No, your imagination is like a cup, and it holds things. Your mind is like a container that holds things. You want to empty it, which brings us to number 2. Breath is how you empty. You breathe, and you work pretty regularly on that. You start thinking of yourself as this beautiful breath in the body, not my experiences. I'm not my struggles. I'm not my failures. I'm not my successes. I'm my breath. I'm my spirit. And start becoming aware of the breath. Now, you don't have to go to breath workshops, although they're certainly empowering, but what you can do is learn a simple breath that you keep going back to. You breathe into the count of 4 through the nostrils, you pause, you hold, you pull your belly to the spine, and you breathe out to the count of 6. The breathing in is I restore, the breathing out is I empty. At the count of 6, you pause. Breathing in again, and put one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. You breathe in. You breathe in. I am breathing in my life force. And I am emptying the garbage. Emptying the garbage. All of it. All of it. You want to go neutral. So that's going to change your life a lot. If you do that 10, 20 times a day, you're going to find that you're just generally going to start feeling better. And I read this, that 99% of what we think is our personality is just like a tape recorder playing old memories over and over again. It's not our personality, it's our conditioning. So empty the tape recorder. Throw that one away as well. Now, the third thing that Joachim recommends, and the emissaries, and you may have already been feeling this, is Get in your body, put the technology away, because technology brings you back to that frequency of things are out there. They're not in here. You come back to your body and go for a walk. It doesn't matter how far, even if it's 5 minutes, but be present. Go for what we call a mindfulness walk. And on the walk, as you're walking, take a few steps and see something. And then really connect. Like I see a beautiful tree, and connect. Breathing in, breathing out. And be present. Walk a few more steps and keep focusing on things in nature. Now, not all of us live in nature, and maybe outside our door is just an urban cement factory, but there's nature somewhere. It could be the flowers that are bursting through the cement and the cracks in the sidewalk. Look for it. Look for it, because nature is our way back to our high vibration. Nature is the frequency we want to match. And the frequency of the earth has changed, because it's shaking out. It's like an inner energetic earthquake to disrupt and just discard frequency patterns that have held us trapped. So if you're uncomfortable in your body and you're uncomfortable when you're walking around, that's okay. Doesn't mean you're in danger. It means things are cracking apart vibrationally. So just keep breathing through the cracks. Just keep breathing in. I'm here. I'm okay in the moment. I release. I'm okay in the moment. I am returning to myself. Next message from the guides to heal is that this is the year where you want to intentionally start visualizing quite accurately that you are a whole universe of light, that every cell in your body, every faculty of your being is designed to be filled with light. So I want you to just scan your body and see, does it feel like it's light or does it feel dark? Now, I'm not talking about dark, evil, bad. I mean, let's not get your imaginations running away with you. I'm talking about like a dark room that needs the light turned on. Just needs the light turned on. So you scan, you go feet to ankles, just feel it. Is there light in my legs? A lot of people have complained about being ungrounded, vertigo, losing balance, numbness. Bring the light back into your legs. See your toes, see your toenails, see your ankles, and just see them lighting up like effervescent bubbles. Just see them being filled with light. And just systematically work knees to hips filled with light. Tailbone to solar plexus, my trunk filled with light. And especially where it's dark, like the dark room or the heavy energy. Breathe out the heavy, empty the garbage. Say, that's not mine. Even if it was, it's not mine anymore. I do not claim this. I do not hold this. I do not want this. And then you breathe in the light. Now, I had a client who had spent quite a few years in jail because he was trying to get rich quick and got into a bit of a Ponzi scheme in his late 20s. And he wasn't very good at it, nor was it really aligned with him. Long story short, he got caught, got put into a jail sentence for about 6 years. And he survived. It turned out to be quite a rehabilitative experience. But when he got out, he was so filled with shame and so identified as criminal. So identified as not good. I'm not good. That he was really stuck, and he started developing all kinds of physical problems, including and eventually a diagnosis that was, we don't know what's really going on with you. It could be either Parkinson's, early onset Parkinson's, or MS. Now, from the way things were coming back diagnostically, doctors really didn't know. They were kind of shooting fish in a bowl on this one. He got different opinions from different doctors, but generally there was a loss of power in his legs, just a loss of motivation, a lot of shame. And so when I met him, I said, I'm not a doctor. I won't speak to that, but I will speak to bringing light back to your body, light back to your legs, light back to your experience. And I said, it's going to take a minute because your ego is pretty convinced that and really enjoying that it's right depriving you of light. But if you really dedicate yourself to this, then let's just see if it helps, even if we don't know what the diagnosis is. So he started. And it took a while, but he ended up taking a job in a garden center. And as he was just kind of tending the plants and making sure everything was okay, he saw life regenerating. He saw plants that were not doing well with proper care revitalizing. He saw little plants budding, and it got in his head that first, he's in nature, which is unconditional love. It's the frequency that matches our body at the highest level. So he had made a good choice to be in this environment. Nobody there particularly cared that he had been in a white-collar crime prison or not, so he didn't feel haunted by other people's judgment. He was alone a lot, but as he tended the plants, he started seeing that his legs were like these stalks of these plants, the roots of the plants, and after about 6 months, he stopped having those symptoms. I mean, they just would come and go, the heaviness of the legs, the strange feeling. They just generally stopped. They subsided. And so one of his doctors said, well, apparently your MS went into a natural remission. He's willing to accept that. It's like, whatever, I feel better. And he's still there. He's still at the garden center. He's actually has quite an important position there now, and he's happy. Because as he said, it's not my white collar meteoric rise to financial wealth, but I'm wealthy in that I'm happy. And I've emptied the ideas of what I needed to be loved, to be accepted. He met a wife there. He met a woman he eventually married. Now they're expecting their second child. He's wealthy. He emptied his ideas that he was told and tried to acquire quickly in the wrong ways, just, the ego scheming. He suffered seriously for that. So I think, again, we go back to, well, what's the gold? That's not me. Don't scheme. Don't do things that go against your integrity, which means wholeness. Learn. Don't punish yourself forever if you've already been through something. Okay, learn. Just learn and move on. What's the gold? This is the 99% of our ascension is to make a few decisions. Let the past go. Empty the garbage. Go back to your breath. Fill yourself with light. Be a light being. Make that the new you, a being filled with light. And don't underestimate that. Have you encountered somebody lately that had a lot of light? Light in their eyes, light off their face, light in their heart. And when you meet them and experience them, you lighten up. That's because we are entrained to affect one another. So this is how we heal. It's just, I am not going to carry that mountain of laundry over the end game in 2025. I am going to let it go. As an intentional executive decision, I am no longer in that movie. I'm not in that movie anymore. I am someone else. I am a light being. I am a being that, and your guides are saying the other thing Joachim is saying, and this is one that I really feel needs a lot of attention, is to make it a spiritual priority to have a good time. And to have a healthy, happy, good time, to be in joy, to take joy in something every day in life, to do one thing that brings you joy. My client's MS, and maybe it was, who knows, subsided, went into remission because he truly enjoyed being in his plants. Was completely different from the job. He thought that I'm going to make a lot of money, I'm going to be wealthy, I'm going to impress people, all very much a mask around a deep feeling of unacceptability. Now I was just stripped of everything and got to start over. So simplify is one more. Simplify. What you don't need, we're going to let go of and empty the mental garbage, the emotional garbage, the memory. But let's also empty attachments. I went through that when I went through my divorce. I lost everything. For about a year, that really mentally bothered me. But truthfully, I was relieved. All that stuff just reminded me of all my misery and how many times I tried to put another thing in my life to make up for the fact that it didn't feel good. So after I lost everything and got used to that empty, I started thinking, well, I know what Janis Joplin was singing about when she said freedom is just another way to say nothing left to lose. I felt quite free, actually. I didn't have anything left to lose. And that did give me a lot more space internally. You know, attachment drains us of light. So if you think about things that you're holding on to, ideas, beliefs, fears, attachments, see if there's any light in your body. Just check. Is there any light in your heart? Do you feel any breath, any light? Or is it all squished together and contracted? Because light gives you space as well. So the last thing is really let go intentionally. Lean into a big let go. This is what the guides are suggesting. 2025 can become the most miraculous experience for you if you finish this year up with a big release. I'm not going to be attached to anything. What I believe, what I think I need, the memories I've had, the experiences. I'm not going to be addicted to the pain I've gone through. I'm not going to be attached to the fears I've held on to. I'm going to release it all. And you can go into a big state of, I don't know. I don't know what's on the other side of that, but I know this I have to release. So the emissaries are really coming in with some serious and quite specific steps for you to enter this profound window of transformation. It's like you can definitely have a radical transformation of experience in life. Return to health, activation of your intuition. And by the way, that is just one more. And it goes without saying from my guides, but I'll say it for myself too. Listen to your intuition. Vocalize it. Say it out loud. Acknowledge what you're feeling. Feel the vibration. Does it lighten you up? Does it give you relief? Does it expand you? Or does it contract? Does it take the light out? If it's your intuition, you will feel lighter, full of light. You'll get enlightenment on something. Listen to it. Make that decision. So all of these suggestions really are rooted in you taking charge and making a decision. If you do that and you commit to that, in the next few months, your life really will miraculously transform. So several of my clients have written and said, and into what? If I let go of all my ideas of what I want and who I am and what I need to do, then what? And I said, well, that's when the universe steps in and surprises you. And the universe has a far better idea for you than you had for yourself. When I lost everything in my life, I thought, oh my God, I've been spiritually committed, listening to my guides, channeling, working with things, and all this goes. Is that the deal? You gotta be kidding me. I went through that for a while, but on the other side of it, I was relieved of burden. Emotionally, I was no longer out of integrity with myself. I started attracting super creative, fun people and living with a simplicity and a peace that really left me at ease. I started channeling even more and more clearly, and even though the whole world was spinning around in a bunch of upheaval, I was having a good time. Not afraid. And even more clear about my purpose. So thank you. I'm glad I went through all that. Was it fun? No. Did I get a few good books out of it? Yes. Did I get the gold of the lessons? Absolutely. So in summary, the guides are saying these are some decisions to make. See yourself as a spiritual being. That's your nature, and you're no longer going to attach to some other heavy identity that says you're not okay. This is not about repair. It's about release, letting go, emptying the garbage. Getting back to your breath and letting that regulate you so your mind doesn't hijack you or your emotions don't drown you. Being outside and being in nature and connecting, because the vibration of nature is so powerful, it will reset you back to the frequency of unconditional love, which is just it's not a mindset. You're going to be bathing in that frequency. It will make you very attractive, very peaceful, and will heal your body. And letting it go is a state of, I just don't want to carry anything heavy. I'm going to fill myself with light. I am going to intentionally make that my practice. And by the way, if you get really stuck in your head, make a playlist of your favorite songs and sing. Because when you sing, you actually go right to the throat, to the high heart and the heart, and you throw all that stuff out. It's a really fast acting way to get all the funkiness out of the pool. So this is the message from the guides. This is the time to make your life radically different and better. Listen to your intuition and don't say, I don't know why. Say, my intuition is telling me and that is why. And that's enough. So I hope that these tools are appealing. None of them are too difficult. You have the power to do all of it. It's simply a matter of keep remembering. Decide. Take your power back. And then be curious. See what happens. Thank you for tuning in. If it is your first time and you've enjoyed it, please, for all of you, give me a thumbs up. That really strengthens the channel. Secondly, share this, especially with anybody who's just really bummed out and in a dark space or in a fearful place. Share this because this will help them. Give them tools that are very manageable. Just say, try it for a week. Let's do it together. We have success in numbers. Please put in my comments, do you do any of these tools? Have you used them? Have you felt them on your own? Are your own guides coming through? Are you starting to get it? Are you realizing I am ready to be lightened up? And I'm loving it. All of this is so important. I really want you to know this is not out there. This is activating inside, and it is making your light come out, and it is beautiful. So believe it. So I'm going to say today goodbye from me, Sonia, and the Joaquin, and the emissaries of the third ray, second octave of love. You can learn more about them in my book, Soul Mastery, the 22 Laws to Reinvent Your Life. It's just out right now, and it's really, really good. And it's also available in its original form when it was first channeled, although we have new instructions. Soul Lessons and Soul Purpose. You can meet the emissaries. They're beautiful teachers, very practical. Just want you to get on with living in the light. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, better yet, and I'll see you next week. All my love.